gonna start sitting. I know the sound is not the best with this, but it's worse without. For next week, I've ordered a microphone that will be right here, so then the sound will be better. I know it sounds a little bit like I'm in a Coke bottle right now, or a beer bottle, or whatever bottle you want to choose. But next week, the sound will be a bit better. So, officially good morning then, everyone. We are going to start sitting, as we most of the time do. So since you're at home, it might be easier sometimes to make it really comfortable, depending on if you have a couch or not in the vicinity. Wherever you are, just take your time to make it comfortable. And if your body says, you know, it's Sunday morning, we're in stressful times, if your body says, you know what, I'd rather lie down on my back for a yoga nidra meditation, that's fine too. We are going to try or use, so the word practice feels a little bit more positive than trying. Trying sort of gives you a, for me at least, like a not full responsibility of going in completely. So if we would like to, you know, we all should use our own intentions and what we want to practice on and with. But I would like to dedicate our practice this morning to becoming aware of the feet and the hands. All of you who are familiar with not just Vijnana, but now we are in Vijnana, know that we put a lot of emphasis on the feet and the hands. And I saw a very beautiful picture on Instagram from Mark Whitwell, who is a student of Krishnamacharya in the 1930s, sitting with his legs forwards. And there was like a little boy, probably 4 or 5, that was practicing with him. And he was doing a shoulder stand assist, which meant Krishnamacharya had his feet forwards. And this kid basically had his head here, and he was a shoulder stand, and Krishnamacharya held his feet. But when you see, and I can stand up, when you see Krishnamacharya's feet, as well as you look at Iyengar's feet and hands, they are huge. And also, looking at we all know, I think, the Vitruvian Man from Leonardo da Vinci. He's not the only one who painted it, but if you look that picture up on Wikipedia or Google, you will see that his hands and his feet are also very well drawn. And then his center, which we also know as Sammanavayu, but you can call it key, the seat of your energy. Also where all your muscle chains come together in your body. And if we don't have hands and feet, or awareness in the hands and the feet, we can't get to our center. And our center is more than a physical center, it's what holds us. It's what carries us also mentally and energetically. So by just focusing on that, and I know a lot of you have pets and animals, and then you can really see how their paws sink into, whether it's the asphalt, or the soft earth, or your couch, and how that kind of creates some sort of movement in the body. So if you're feeling attracted to it, feeling the call to, try to focus this morning on just being aware of the hands and the feet, like watching them with a fascination almost of what are they doing, how can they work. So with that, we're going to go into the sitting. So gently close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Allow yourself to sink deep into your sitting bones. It's like you're actually sinking deep into your own seat. Really allowing yourself to sit inside yourself. Whatever that means to you. Just allow yourself to rest there for a while. It's part of the sitting. There's a poem from Robert Bly I will share. It's called Things to Think. Think in ways you never thought before. If the phone rings, think of it as carrying a message larger than anything you've ever heard, vaster than 100 lines of Yeats. Think that someone may bring a bear to your door, maybe wounded and deranged, or that a moose has risen out of the lake and he's carrying on his antlers a child of your own whom you've never seen. When someone knocks on the door, think that he's about to give you something large, tell you you're forgiven, or that it's not necessary to work all the time, or that it's been decided that if you lie down, no one will die. So let's just sit. So feeling the weight of the pelvis, just allowing the pelvis to sink and to actually just be what it is. Big, wide, heavy, and structure. So allow yourself to feel this structure, which is created in a way that it really has a sense of holding you. So this is why it's so important to be aware of how do we balance this structure, this pelvis. And how much can we become aware of it? So as you're sensing that bowl-like structure of your pelvis, Become aware of the space just in front of your sacrum. So that's Heiligbeen in Dutch. And your sacrum sits at the top, sort of top middle of your pelvis at the back. And just in front of that sacrum, which means sacred, heilig, Heiligbeen, the holy bone. So that's where we can find the entrance to the secrets. But anyway, just in front of your sacrum, there is a space. Of course, there's space everywhere, but and just try to rest there with your attention or your awareness. And then gently become aware of the flow of the breath as you're breathing through the nose. And when you're exhaling, it's like you're going into that space just in front of your sacrum. And when you're inhaling, your inhalation starts filling up the space just above. And how much of that space it fills up is not important. It's just a direction. When you're exhaling, you want to go to that space in front of your sacrum. Samanavayu, for those who know it. And inhalation just starts to filling up above. And sometimes you fill up just your upper belly, and sometimes you go higher. That's not important. So every exhalation, you go into this place or space in front of your sacrum. And then you just inhale. And I would advise most of us to stay with this. But those of you who know the practice of Pranavayu for yourself, just move on to doing Pranavayu 2 or 3 times before you go back down to the space in front of the sacrum. In the next minute, we're gonna just keep on breathing, either towards the space in front of the sacrum, and inhaling and just watching the rhythm, just watching the breath that way. Or you can do an Ujjayi breathing, exhaling Pranavayu, rooting and inhaling towards the lower back ribs. And if you're going like, what's this whole Pranavayu thing? Stay at the space of the sacrum, because that's the center for this Vitruvian man or woman. This is where we want to engage from. And with your next exhalation, just drop the attention, drop any doing, drop the jaw. And just observe. How does it feel now? From the inside out, physically, energetically, psychologically even, or mentally. And know that you created that alignment just by your awareness. Awareness of being held by the pelvis. Awareness of exhaling just a little bit in front of your sacrum. That's all you did. And then gently coming back in any way that works for you. The yoga mudra way, or if you need to elongate the legs immediately, just do that. And whenever you are ready, you gently come lie on the back. And just take a moment as you lie on the back to sense what your body is asking for after the sitting. So allow for the full weight of the body to lean into the floor. This allowing is a key in most of the things that we do, because we just carry stuff the whole day. We never really allow for something to just be heavy and use that. So really allow yourself to lean into the floor. And then bending the knees, placing the feet behind the pelvis, pretty wide apart. Allow the arms to fall to the sides, palms are facing up. And we let the legs fall to the right. And if it's okay for your neck, let the nose turn to the left. But if there's any strain on your neck, just keep the nose towards the seat. And if you feel any strain in the jaws here, just yawn. Really big. And we put awareness in the feet, so we spread the toes, we roll the feet back in the floor, and then we let the legs fall to the left. Maybe the nose turns to the right, maybe it stays up. It's your neck who decides. We're going to do that one more time. So from the feet, we're moving back, legs fall to the right, jaws relax. From the feet, we're coming back, and the legs fall into the left. And the feet come back in the floor. Knees and feet come towards us, and they kind of stick together. We're going to place the hands under the pelvis with the palms facing down, and we're going to spread the fingers. Here you will already feel when you spread the fingers, when you make wide hands, your shoulder blades move down and your chest opens, and without you doing anything, there's also a slight activation in the lower belly muscles or in Samanavayu. So these connections in the body are just the coolest, you know? You go like, all I do here is spread my hands and press my fingers and look at how much is happening in my upper chest, how much is happening in my belly muscles. And now if you let the knees lean more into each other and the inside of the big toe touch, you will feel an even deeper engagement in your lower belly, in your Samanavayu. So this is what your hands and your feet are doing. Pretty awesome. And I bet you that the posture for your whole upper body here feels really good compared to when we sit behind the computer. So exhaling to Samanavayu. Inhale, allow the feet to elongate up. Keep exhaling to that space in front of the sacrum, your Samanavayu as you exhale. And with the inhalation, long heels. Next exhalation, we allow the legs to sink, kind of a little bit more than halfway. Hands are active, toes, feet are active. Next exhalation, hands and feet, and we are a little bit lower. Bending the knees, coming back. Let yourself land and just check, are my hands active? Are my knees leaning a little bit in towards each other? Are my feet active? Exhale and root. Inhale, long heels, long legs. Keep breathing. Exhale, we go. Almost halfway down. Next exhalation. Almost down to the floor. Almost, huh? Bending the knees, coming back. Last round. Exhaling stamina. Inhaling long heels. And then the feet come a bit lower. And even lower. Bending the knees, coming back, and give your legs a big hug. Allow for your shoulder blades to be heavy. Allow for your arms to be heavy. And change how the hands are placed so your upper hand comes under. And then we roll to the side. And we're going to come on the hands and the knees. For the cat and the cow. So, big wide front paws, like a big tiger. And the knees under the hips. And just relax the head. Here, allow for the weight of the head to fall. Allow for the jaws to drop. As you're exhaling, you get cat claws in the mat, and that gives you a round back. As you inhale, you're pulling the hips back, and you're opening the chest, and you open really big cow's eyes, and you get a bit of a hollow back. And then we're leaning into the cat's claws again. We get a round back. Shoulder blades move back as your tailbone moves back. And think of these big brown eyes of the cow. That's what you want to make. And just keep moving in a way that works for you. And a rhythm that works for you. And as we're in the tailor position, we're going to move into Adho Mukha Svanasana, the downward facing dog. But if you have a feeling now that, oh my God, my hands are tired, just come sit on the heels for a bit and just shake your hands. And then we're placing the fingers. We're spreading the hands like you're spreading finger paint. Knees come together, feet apart. Leaning into your fingers and your hands down and forwards, you get long arms and you get a bit of a rounded upper back. Dropping the head, feeling the toes. Keeping your arms as long as they are. Let the knees come up. Let your head just hang. Turn your heels a bit out. And because your head is hanging, you can just really look at your feet. So you can see that they're a little bit heels out. And now you want to lean in your right hand and your left foot. And as you do that, you're actually turning your left foot straight. Keep relaxing the jaw like you want to keep yawning if you can almost. And we're going to swap. We're going to lean into the left hand and the right foot. And now we're actually turning the right foot straight. Let both knees come forward. Keeping your head relaxed. Two heels elongate back. Head is hanging. Just relax the jaws. Heels come up a bit. We let the knees land. We come a little forward. The left hand comes one step forward. We're going to go for thread the needle. So the right arm bends, and I look in my palm, and I actually want to Let my palm slide, or my hand, which holds the palm, to the left. And then I'm going to bend my left elbow and just rest the head. And my right shoulder blade is moving towards my left hip. Leaning into your left hand to come back up. Placing your right hand a bit more forwards. Leaning into it. Left hand comes under your palms facing up. And the hand slides to the right. And then you bend your right elbow, let your head rest. And your left shoulder blade wants to go towards your right hip or your right buttock. Leaning into the right hand, coming back. Placing the hands then a little bit more back. Knees together. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And don't be too pushy or too harsh with yourself. It's morning, so allow your knees to come forward a bit. Feel the length from the wide hands, and if you like, then you elongate the heels back. Or you can work a bit diagonal if you like. Leaning into the left hand, the right hand comes up, and we grab the outside of the left leg. And we turn the head to the left. Placing the right hand back, leaning into that one. Left hand becomes light, it grabs the outside of your right leg, and you're turning the head to the right. Coming back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Leaning into your right hand and your left foot. Right foot comes up. We're gonna let the left heel come up, and we're gonna place the right foot where your right hand was. The left heel turns down, and you want to feel your two hip bones pointing towards the floor. And your arms are hanging, your head is hanging. Your right knee is kind of elongating forwards. And even though your left heel is turned, it's elongating back. Really allow your head and your jaws to relax. Feeling all the toes and the ball of the toes especially of your front foot. Start rooting them and feel your leg elongating. We're kind of in a hanging Parshva Konasana or Parshvottanasana. Keep your head relaxed, and now allow your front knee to bend. Your back heel comes up, and we turn the belly to the right. Left elbow crosses the leg, hands or palms touch, and we turn a little bit more to the right. Coming back in the center, we're stepping in for our Adho Mukha Svanasana. Feel your hands and your feet, so especially all your fingers and all your toes. Head relaxed. Leaning into your left hand and your right foot. Left foot comes up. Right heel comes up to make it easier to move your left foot forwards. Let it land where your hand was. Right heel or your back heel turns down. Your two hip bones are looking in the floor. And your left knee, your front knee is thinking forwards and your back heel is thinking back. And your head is just relaxed. Arms are relaxed. Jaws are relaxed. Like Sunday hang. Leaning into the toes and the balls of the toes of your front foot. Start elongating the leg. But keep your arms and your head hanging. Keeping awareness in the toes so that you're not locking the knee. And then feel your back foot heavy as your front knee moves forwards. Your back heel turns up. We come a bit up. The right elbow crosses the front knee, palms touch, and we turn a little bit to the left. Coming back in the center, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And build Adho Mukha up now, really as a resting pose. Relax the head. Leaning into the fingers. It might help to let the knees come forward and your pelvis moving back to get longer arms and more relaxed shoulders. And then if you like, you can elongate the feet. Or you can say, you know what, screw that. I'm just going to keep my knees forwards. Why not? One more time, leaning into the right hand and the left foot. Right foot comes up, left heel comes up, and we're placing the right foot where the hand was. Back heel landing, feeling the hips like two big eyes, your hip bones looking into the floor. Keeping your front knee forwards, the hip bones want to look forwards, that's how we come up. Exhaling Samana Vayu, to that space just between the sacrum. Inhale as your hands come up, the pelvis sinks. Listen to your shoulders, they decide how high, how wide your arms come. Or they might stay on your chest. We fold forwards, placing the hands, and we come back in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Relax. Other side. Left hand and your right foot are heavy. Left foot comes up, right heel comes up, and we place the left foot where the hand was. Taking the time to let the back heel land. The eyes on the hip bones are looking in the floor on your mats. And as they want to look forwards, we come up. Exhaling Samana Vayu, dropping the pelvis. Inhale, keeping the pelvis heavy as the hands move to where it feels good for you. Folding back down. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And baby pose. Choose for yourself if you go with the knees wide in baby pose, or if you'd rather go with the knees together. Keeping your pelvis heavy, placing the arms, placing the head, just drop the pelvis. So as we use the space in front of the sacrum for Samana Vayu, imagine now that the back of the sacrum becomes heavy. Every time you exhale, the back of the sacrum gets another 120 kilo on that spot. Allowing your hands to walk forwards, coming back up. Taking the time for Adho Mukha Svanasana, remember, awareness in the hands, in the fingers, awareness in the feet. Head relaxed. Letting your heels come up, bending the knees, walk or jump to Uttanasana. And take your time in Uttanasana, just relax, just hang. And whether that is knees bent or long legs, it doesn't matter. Just choose what is best for you in this moment. Leaning the pelvis back. Chest coming forwards. You come up and land. Exhaling in front of the sacrum and root. Inhale, just grab the space from inside and become wide. So 2 more times. Exhaling, Samanavaya and rooting. Inhaling, just utilizing the space which is already there. Just moving through it. Moving in towards Surya Namaskar, the Sun Salutation A. So the pelvis is moving back. Fingertips drop to the floor and the head is relaxing. Leaning into your whole feet as you come up a little bit. Feeling the fingertips in the floor. Just relax the head. Placing the hands by the feet, heels coming up. Walk or jump to the high plank. And even what creates your plank are your heels moving back, your fingertips rooting, because that allows your chest to move forwards. Being honest with yourself, if you can stay in the plank, you may bend the elbows. If you can't stay in the plank, let the knees root. Rooting your feet. And we do the cow's eyes. Here. Placing the knees. Pelvis moving back. Hands join. They take a step back. Spreading the hands like a shredding finger paint, relaxing the head. Elongating the heels back. Exhaling to Samanavaya. Inhaling and just use the space. Heels coming up. Knees moving down and forward. Feeling the fingers. Feeling the toes. Walk or jump. Uttanasana. Pelvis moving back. Tadasana. Exhale and root. Inhale, just grabbing the space that is already there. Pelvis moving into the space behind you. Dropping the fingers. Relaxing the head. Rooting to become tall or create length. Bending the knees. Walk or jump. Chaturanga. Hands and feet. Elbows moving back or knees land straight away. Rooting the feet, rooting the fingers, opening the eyes. Knees down, pelvis moving back. Hands join, taking a step back. Wide hands, it's a little more gecko hand actually than a dog. Heels elongating back. Relaxing the head. Every time you exhale to Samana, let your knees bend a little forwards. And as you inhale, you can grab that newfound space. Heels coming up, coming low, hands and feet. Walk or jump. Uttanasana. And relax. Pelvis moving back. Chest forwards. Tadasana. Exhale, root. Inhale, wide. Uttanasana. Pelvis moving back. Dropping the head. Walk or jump to Chaturanga. Grabbing the length through the hands and the feet. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Feet, hands, and big eyes. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Our dear downward facing dog. Hands and feet. You can always, in downward facing dog, lean diagonally. Just make sure you do it for at least 2 breaths, so you're not moving like this, because this is unaware. And sinking, you become aware of the weight. Knees down and forwards, walk or jump. Uttanasana. Pelvis moving back. Tadasana. One more. Uttanasana. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Dog facing up. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Dog facing down. Relax the head. Relax the jaws. And imagine if you would have to stay here for 5 minutes. What would you do? Where would you need to allow for more things? Where would you need to allow for less things? Where do you need to maybe search for yourself to find a comfortable space? How much awareness are there in your hands, in your fingertips, in your toes, in your heels? Bending the knees, walk or jump, Uttanasana. Pelvis moving back, Tadasana. So we're going to place the feet on a comfortable width and make them really wide. We're bending the knees, so we're making sure that our knees go in line with the feet. Hands are at the back of your spine or on the sacrum. And you keep looking forward, like you're looking through the wall in front of you. And from the feet, we're turning circles. And even though you're looking forwards with very wide eyes, your full awareness or your full attention is in the feet. That sinking motion in different parts of the feet. And now we're going to change directions. So we're going in the other direction. We're going to release the hands. We're going to lean a little bit more into the left foot, and we're going into Vrikshasana 1 by leaning, grabbing the right ankle, placing the foot. Put all your intention and attention in all your toes and all your heels, all 5 heels. You don't need to release the hands, you can if you like, but it's not necessary. We're gonna very mindfully switch to the right. So as your foot lands, just feeling the toes sinking, leaning into that foot like it's your comfortable Sunday couch. Left knee comes up, grabbing the ankle when you're ready, placing the foot, and keep the hand there if you like, or place them somewhere else. Coming back. We're going to place the feet pretty wide. We're going into Fierce Warrior or Fierce Goddess, Goddess pose, which means the heels turn in and the toes turn out. It's not about how deep we're sinking, it's about keeping the knees in line with the feet. Let your hands rest on the chest first as you sink. Open your hands, letting the heels come up and letting the heels land. You might sink a little more. Leaning into the feet, gently coming up, turning your feet back, stepping back. The next posture we can choose. We either go into what we just did into Vrikshasana 1, the tree pose, or we're going into Vrikshasana 2. So if you go into Vrikshasana 1, just go ahead. If you go into 2 and you want to go ahead, just do that too. And for the ones who want guidance, I'll guide us. So, leaning into the right foot, allow the pelvis to come back and come really low. Grabbing your left ankle from under, let it first rest on the thigh and just sink with your pelvis. So you can stay here. If you like, again, grabbing your foot from under, guiding the heel to the right groin, release the left hand. Toes, you're spreading them. If you like, release the hands and place the hands on the chest. Bend the knee, let your foot slide. Coming back, I'm turning so you can see this one from the front. Leaning into your left foot, pelvis is moving very far back. Grabbing the ankle from under, placing it on the thigh and just let yourself sit for a bit. Awareness in your foot, the one in the floor. From under, grabbing the foot, guiding the ankle or the heel to the groin, releasing your right hand, spreading the toes of your right foot. Maybe you release the hands, maybe not. Keep on breathing. Gently. Coming out. Placing the feet under the hips. Exhale and root, so bend gently. Inhale, as you elongate the legs, the arms come up. Your left hand grabs your right wrist and the hips move to the right. Gently. Bending the elbows as you come back. Grabbing your left wrist, hips moving to the left. Coming back. Very gently, one more time. So you just hold the wrist and you move the hip. You don't want to pull. Coming back, bending the elbows, hold the wrist, moving the hips. Coming back. Pasasana, feet together, shins moving forwards, pelvis moving back, and we're coming really low. We feel the belly on the thighs, maybe your whole upper body on the thighs, and your arms are like gorilla arms, they're just hanging there. Then we're moving the knees to the left. Left elbow crosses the right knee, hands touch. We turn to the right. Coming back. Sort of gorilla arms, knees moving to the right. Right elbow crosses your left knee, palms touch, belly turning to the left. Gently coming back. Uttanasana. Allow your head to hang. And Tadasana. We're going to Vrikshasana 1. Again, the tree pose, starting on your right foot. Grabbing your left ankle. Placing the foot And you don't have to release the hand. It can also stay there. Letting the foot slide or fall. It's all right too. Leaning into the left. Grabbing the right ankle. Rooting. So you're really rooting from the toes. And then in the heels. Coming back. We're gonna use our sun salutation as a transport, which we always do. So we are going through to Adho Mukha Svanasana. So exhale and roots. Inhale, become wide. Uttanasana, pelvis moving back. Relaxing the head, just hang here for a bit. And then elongate. Bending the knees. Walk or jump. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. So feeling the feet. Feeling the fingertips. Big eyes. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Really wide hands. Let's see if they can feel even wider now. As your head is relaxing, make your toes really wide. Starting with the big toe. Keeping your head relaxed. We're going to bend the knees. Let them land. And we're going to come lie on the belly. And you might want to look at the first one. We're going to do this for 3 times. So you might look once and do it twice. Or look twice and do it once. We're going to do Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, which we always do in the sun salutation, the upward facing dog, with a lot of attention in the hands and the feet, like we always do. But sometimes when you start from the belly, or usually when you start from the belly, you are able to really feel, especially what your hands are doing. So, my feet will have the inner feet touching, not the heel, but the space where the ball of the big toe is. So I'm just showing them first. Most of you Vijnanis know this. What happens when I do that is, if I'm lying like this and you're just looking at my feet, I'm kind of rolling the ball of the big toe towards the floor, so I'm spreading the toes. Now already my knees come off the floor, and my lower belly, my Samana Vayu is really strong. So then essentially lifting my whole legs, like they do with every step you take. My hands, so I'm going to relax my feet for now. My hands come under my elbows. And then you see your elbows are pointing out. But if I really grab the floor, like my hands are closed, my elbows will point straight back. So, I'm clawing, elbows pointing straight back. I'm rolling the ball of the big toe in the floor, which means the part of my foot comes up, my leg comes up. Now, I want to claw my way forward. So, I'm clawing my way forward. That means my chest is open and my shoulder blades are down because my clawing. Now, I'm not doing this because this is crack in the neck. That's not very nice. I'm making big eyes and I'm looking forwards and up. And some of you might get your head a bit more turned than mine, but it's not important to look up. It's important to look with wide eyes. So coming down, relax. So really spread out, like a sea star. If that's a good translation of the word. 2 more times. Or maybe the 2 first. So, the beginning part from big toe of the inner foot are just gently touching. Your hands are under your elbows. And your forehead is in the floor. Rolling the ball of the big toe towards the floor. Spreading the toes, feeling your knees coming up. Feel your claws, and you just want to claw yourself forward. And then you want to look forward and almost to the sides too with those big eyes. Placing the knees. Elongate back a bit first, because this is what dogs do, huh? They don't go straight away and pats on the belly. Coming back to the belly. Relax. C-star. We're gonna do this one more time. So, big toes a little bit touching. Hands under your elbows. Spreading the hands, feeling that your elbows are actually moving in and they're already moving back a bit. Rolling the ball of the big toe in the floor, releasing the knees from the floor. Clawing yourself forward, placing the knees. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Relax the head. Bending the knees, let them come to the sides, and let the big toes touch. We're going into Estrada, camel pose. We're also going to do this one 3 times. So you can choose to either play along the whole time if you know it, or to watch once and then to do it. And we're going to do it in one way a little bit differently than what we've usually done in class, and in another way it's not different because we're working with the same space. But we always start with the feet. So I eventually try to put my feet together like this. I get the same foot as we just had an upward facing dog. And as I do that, that means I'm coming up by myself. So again, as I'm using the feet, this happens. And I try to keep them together. I keep rooting the ball of the big toes down. This comes forwards. So I'm already quite forwards. What I want to do here is use my hands. I'm going to turn so you can see my hands again. But I need to use my feet. If I lose my feet here, it's really cheating and it's not the best thing you can do for your back. But if you use your feet, as you do this, it's amazing and it's really good for your back. So, using my feet, my hands are pointing down and I'm moving my fingers down. It might look like I'm pushing my pelvis forward, but I'm moving my fingers down. So from the side, feet, moving my fingers down like you're touching your own butt almost. If I'm here and it's comfortable, look at my head. I'm still looking forward. I'm moving back, I'm looking forwards. And there's a point where my hands aren't comfortable anymore. They slide down, I'm looking forwards. I grab my heels, I'm looking forwards. I push or move my pelvis forwards. If I'm comfortable here, this is the moment when I stop looking forwards and I gently release the head. And to come back, I sink in my feet, I do nothing with my head. Moving forwards with the hips. As the hips move back, my head comes forwards. So, we're gonna do it together, and you don't need to do the full posture. You just go to where it feels good. So, big toes are touching. And now I want my heels to touch. Then I come up. Pretty cool. So I really move my big toes, ball of the big toes down and my heels towards each other. And my pelvis moves forwards. Hands with the fingers down at your sacrum, and you got your hands over the top of your buttocks. And you're moving the fingertips down like you want to slide over your buttocks. You keep looking forwards. If it feels comfortable, you keep looking forwards, slide the hands down, let them hang. Looking forwards as you're grabbing the heels. Moving the pelvis, releasing the head. Relax jaw. Leaning into the feet, moving the pelvis, hips moving back, and your head joins. And relax. Relaxing the arms, relaxing the jaw. We're going for the last one. We're going to go 5 minutes over time. We're going to do this one and the leg stretches, and we need a good shavasana after this. So, if you're ready, you go for this one. If your lower back or anything says, you know what, I'm a bit tired, come lie on the back and hug the knees in before we do the leg stretches. So, last round for our camel pose. Leaning into or letting the ball of the big toes sink. Heels come together and you come up. Keeping those heels and the ball of the big toes actively moving forwards. Hands on the upper part of your sacrum, fingertips down. And your fingertips move over your buttocks down. You're looking forwards. Releasing the hands, keep looking forwards. Grabbing the heels. Pelvis moves forward and relaxing the head. Keeping weight in the feet, come a bit back. Forwards with the hips. And then backwards with the hips. Relaxing the head. If you did this last one, come gently into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, before you come sit. Relaxing the jaws. And then knees land. We elongate the legs. We come lie on the back. And you might have a yoga belt, and you might not. But if you don't, I'm sure you have a shirt, or a blanket, or anything that you can use. Or a sock is great to use as well. It doesn't need to be a belt, just something that you can pull with. So, not like a 200 euro mohair shirt, but a sweatshirt, okay? So, come lie on the back, bending the knees, and you throw the belt or the shirt or the sock or whatever you're using on top of the feet. And then first just relax. So, allow for the weight of the body in the floor and letting the legs come up. The palms are facing in. The arms are long, they're just like dead weight. Your shoulder blades are heavy and your jaw is super relaxed. Really, really relaxed. Like you can happily yawn with your relaxed jaw. Your left foot comes on the floor and you're leaning into the left and you're elongating the right up. And you're going to bend the right knee to the right. You're going to grab the belt or the sock or whatever it is, or in the right hand, or you might grab the big toe with the right hand. Your left hand falls to the left. And now you elongate your left leg. And your right foot is going in direction of your shoulder height towards the floor. So it's not falling to the right, it's kind of going diagonally up. And let your nose turn to the left. Keep on breathing. You're coming back. Gently swap legs, no stress. Placing your right foot in the floor for support. This is the same as we do in every posture. We're rooting the right so that the left can elongate up. And you still yawn. Are your arms just hanging? Are the palms facing each other? Bending the left knee, turning the foot to the left. Grab either the big toe or your sock or your belt, whatever you're using. Right hand falls to the side and your left leg elongates. Look at the big toe and let your hand guide the foot in the direction of the big toe. And then you're turning the head to the right. And now the wall is in the way for me, but bending the knees, coming back, rolling to the side, grab your shirt, your socks, your blanket. You're at home, so you might even have to do right for Shavasana. And just make sure to take the time to make it as comfortable as possible. And whether you are here right now live or whether you're watching this recording later, if you feel that you want to stay in Shavasana, as I call us back, you just stay in Shavasana for longer, okay? I think that's what I'll do. I mean, even though I said we could catch up after the class, for those who actually want to stay longer in Shavasana, I think I'll just, when I've guided you back, I'll just close the Zoom class, so the ones that want to stay longer in quiet in Shavasana can just stay longer. And then we can always app each other later. Hope that's fine. So, in your own time, come lie in a way that works for you. And if you have some sort of unease in your back and you have a wall, you can always lie with your legs up against the wall as well. Or put something under the knees. So gently closing the eyes, allowing for heaviness in the body. Feeling the back of the head, leaning into the floor. Just soft, relaxed, heavy back of the head. Feel your face becoming soft. Feel your face melting. Forehead soft. Eyebrows relaxing. Eyes leaning a little bit more back in the sockets to relax. Jaws becoming soft. The cheeks melting. And the lips soft. Feeling the neck wide. And the throat relaxed. Feeling your right shoulder, your right arm, and your right hand heavy. Feeling your left shoulder, your left arm, and your left hand heavy. Feeling the right side of your hip, the right buttock, the right leg, and the right heel heavy. And feeling the left side of the hip, the left buttock, the left leg, and the left heel heavy. Just allow yourself to be held by the floor, and by the earth. So if you want to stay longer in Shavasana, just stay. And if you want to come back already, you can just gently start moving the fingers, the hands, the toes, and the feet. In any way that works for you. You want to stretch out, yawn, just any movement that your body and your mind calls for, just go with it. And then whenever you are ready, just gently bending the knees one at a time and roll to the side and allow for yourself to fall into the side before you roll up to sit. Just come sit for a little while with the eyes closed. Just sense how the space inside feels now. And knowing that that is what you always carry. That is who you are and what you just created. And you can always access it. Sometimes it's a bit more difficult, sometimes it's easier, but it's there. Yoga Mudra. And namaste. And thank you. Dank jullie. Merci. Dank je. Ik zet wel de opname op stop.